about Jesus, other stuff.
Yeah, we had the unstable table.
Yeah, this is the unstable table basically. So we don't know what's going to happen. Right, hello. Please welcome Cristiną Scabbią from Lacuna Coil. Well, basically the band that's going to be my personal headliner today.
Ooh, thank you.
I'm hoping my friend from Dowiecie is not going to watch this interview. Having said that, yeah, but
no.
You know, possibly not. So yeah, it's cool. My idea for my concept for this whole interview was that you're probably, I would assume, a bit tired with all these questions regarding Black Anima, because I suppose everybody's asking you questions about your latest album. So I decided to go for something more general.
Okay.
Yeah, since it's like you know the first time I can actually talk to you, so I can ask about. Jesus, other stuff.
Yeah, we had the unstable table.
Yeah, this is the unstable table basically. So we don't know what's going to happen. It might get dangerous basically. But having said that, I'm going to start with Black Anima. Why not? My first question is, what was your main drive, your main motivation for creating an album that's, I'd say, much darker, much heavier, much more aggressive, basically than anything you've ever done?
It is a combination of things, because Delirium was already darker than our previous record, and that was coming from personal experiences, because during the songwriting we had a lot of very tough stuff happening in our lives, and our music and lyrics are always reflecting what we are living. But this record, I would say that is the surpassing of the morning, coming out stronger, but now we are able to manage the darkness we went through. So it's an acceptance of the darkness we went through, because there is no light without darkness, and we know very well about this balance, and that's what inspired us to work on this record. Regarding the sonorities, we already knew that it was going to be heavier, because with some of the songs from Delirium being heavier, after we played them on stage, we realized that we really wanted to go down that path, because we were having a lot more fun on stage, just because of the energy of the songs and interaction we had on stage. So we decided to go freely with our inspiration, and that's where our inspiration went, I guess. That's actually awesome.
I'm speaking on my own behalf, obviously, because actually this is the best direction I think you could take. I mean, for me, right? So if I'm just this is just my opinion, but
we care about other people's opinion. We do what we want, because we think that it's the most honest way to create art, to do what you really like, and then share it with others if they appreciate it. But I agree with you. I think this is the perfect balance in between our old school style, if I can call it so, the core of Lacuna Coil, and the modern touch, because we're always living in the present. We don't want to get stuck in the past. But I agree.
Yeah. Is there any particular track that you're, let's say, most proud of? Yeah.
I really like Beneficium. I like the fact that it's a long song, that we took the time to tell a story. I love every song on the record, but Beneficium has a very special place in my heart. I also experimented something different, singing in a more, not lyrical way, because I'm not a lyrical singer and I can't sing lyrical, but we did something close to our Italian history, singing in Latin. I tried to even sing different voices in the old record, but especially in Beneficium, in the parts that you hear in the beginning and throughout the songs, I played with my voice, and that was a cool challenge to take for me. So Beneficium is probably one of the special ones, let's say so, if not the special one. All right, fair enough.
Actually, quite like it. You're going to play it, right?
Yeah, we're going to play tonight.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. So, out of sheer curiosity, with all your outfits, etc., how long does it take you to prepare for a show, roughly?
Usually, we take an hour before the show. I have to be honest.
Not that bad.
I have to be honest. I'm the quickest one to get ready, because all the guys have more makeup than I have because they really do paint their faces. I do almost a regular makeup and with my signature to red stripes, which is kind of faster. But we usually take an hour. We consider 1 hour prior to the show to get ready.
I was thinking that maybe, I don't know, around 2 hours or something. But
no, not too much. We don't need that much. No, we are used to, 1 hour is enough.
Cool. Regarding all your tracks, which one would you say is your favorite track that you don't play live?
In general?
Yeah,
or?
In general.
It's a difficult question.
You've got a song that you really like, but for some reason you don't really play it. You got anything like that?
Well, not really, because we pretty much played, or at least in different set lists, every song that I wanted to play. There are some songs that we don't play that often from the very beginning of our career, because of course you have a limited amount of time to perform, and you have to pick up from every record. And most of the times, the oldest records are the ones that you cut the most, because the majority of our fans didn't even know us. So it's not disrespectful towards our old school fans. It's just because the majority of people know. No.
Yeah, introducing
people is getting a lot of coffee.
some extra coffee noises here. Okay, so how about Black Anima? Maybe there's some song that you would really like to include in your set, but it's limited. So.
For example, the song Black Anima, which is the last in the record, which is more of an outro. I don't think we'll ever play it just because it makes complete sense in the record, but maybe it's not like a live song to play. Because when you put together a set list, you have to consider so many things, the dynamic of the old set, so you try to include more heavy songs. You want to include something slower to kind of break a bit and kind of let the set breathe. Maybe Black Anima. There is also a song that I really like called Black Feathers, which is in the deluxe edition. And maybe one day we'll add it. I mean, now we're only at the beginning of the cycle, so maybe next year we'll add more songs.
Okay, all right. Leaving Black Anima aside now, you've done quite a lot of guest work, collaborations with different artists, bands, etc. Which one of these would you say is your, favorite? So the one that you've got the fondest memories, so to say.
They're all good for different reasons. The thing that brings them all together is the weird way they happened, because sometimes you collaborate with people that you already know, that you're friends with, and then you start talking about a project and that happens. For me, for a lot of collaborations that I did, it wasn't like that. I actually never met the people I worked with on a record. Really? Yes. For example, with Megadeth, when they asked me. I was going to ask about that. Yeah. When they asked me to sing the song with them, I was surprised. The first thing first, because Mustaine never sung with another person on a duet, never sung with a woman, and that was my favorite song from them. So I was really amazed by the coincidence. And when I accepted, we never met before. I went to a studio in England, and I did everything with the producer. And basically I recorded everything that I had in mind, and then they picked up the parts and they combined the song. But we met maybe a couple of months after. We met when we shot the video. I went in the studio where they were already recording some parts of the video, and I was supposed to shoot my parts the day after, and that's where I actually met Dave and the rest of Megadeth. And the same happened with Alter Bridge when we did the alternative duet for Watch Over You. I've been asked to do it. I recorded in Milano, and I met Miles and Mark a long time after it, so it's kind of awkward. Okay. And now something different, let's say more this celebrity part of you. So because I'm a celebrity. Yeah, I mean, you were the judge on The Voice of Italy, right? Oh yes, and last year. Yeah, this is precisely what I'm going to ask you about. So, from the perspective of all the time that's passed, looking back on this experience, what did it give you actually? I think that it was an exchange, because I think that he gave me a lot, but I also left a lot. I met a lot of new people. I'm still in touch with a lot of guys and girls from my team, and I really, really loved them. While I was doing the show, I was really determined to do something for them. Of course, this is something that you can do to a certain extent, because it was only 8 episodes. So in those episodes, I basically had to try my best to let them known to the huge public. But most of those shows are more a show for the judges, because they're more popular. So that's the cons of those shows. But the pro is that they have learned something new from something that they didn't know before, how to work in a more professional way. I tried to give them a lot of advices based on my experience. And I found out that in a lot of things, I was actually smarter and quicker in doing stuff on the TV show, just because of my experience abroad. And this is something that I realized. I was like, because of 20 years in the scene, working around the world, my mindset is completely different. So I'm able to solve a lot of more problems quickly and find a way to solve everything.
Were you getting, I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but I don't know, let's call it some sort of hate, internet hate, because of your decision on this? I'm just going to tell you why I'm asking this question, because I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but, Nergalu from Behemoth.
Yeah, he did the same.
He did the same in Poland, right? He did the same here, right?
But I mean, he's great because he really wants to push boundaries, and he really wants to
and as you can imagine, he got
sometimes he likes to annoy people on purpose just to see the reaction. And he's a great guy. I love Nergalu. I really like his attitude. Is a really cool person. At the beginning, I remember that some people was really suspicious about me doing the voice, because they were afraid that I would change myself, that I would go on TV and change as a person. Maybe some of them were afraid that I would get out of the band, and I don't know, that maybe my ego would burst so much that I would be like, I don't want to be in the band anymore, I just want to do my stuff. But I knew that it wasn't going to happen, because I knew that it was already strange that they asked me to be part of a show like this. I knew that it was going to be a one-time shot, because this is something special, someone from the metal scene on national TV in Italy. Italy is very conservative. Metal is not at all on the mainstream. We are probably the only band who actually scratched the mainstream a bit. So all the criticisms became compliments when they noticed that I didn't change. I actually been able to bring some metal in the show, because I've been able to bring a couple of songs, one from Manowar and one from Judas Priest. And it was not easy, because of course it's a national TV program where everything is very commercial. And I didn't change myself. I picked up all the outfits, all makeup, everything I said, it was from myself and not from an author. I picked up the guys, the contestants, because I like them. So it was 100% honest, and everything turned, and all the criticisms became like, oh, that was good, you were great.
It's actually good. My sister's been living in Italy for over a decade now. So I'm quite familiar with what Italian national TV is like.
Especially Rai. Rai is very. Rai has a very oldish target. It's not for young people. So usually, like from 26 up, the regular target.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you something different, because regarding modern audiences, just people coming to your shows, etc. I personally hate that the trend is that you've got to have your mobile out basically most of the time and even record the whole show instead of, I don't know, experience it. For instance, I personally hate it. I'm just wondering what's your take on this?
When I'm on stage, I love to interact with people, but at the same time, I close myself in my own space. So I'm worried about how I'm singing, and not even that. It's not that I'm trying to control myself. I actually it's like I enter in a state of trance, and I don't really know what's going on out, because I'm so much into the music and into what I'm singing and what I'm saying, that I try to create a contact with the others, but I don't judge them at the same time.
Okay.
So if they want to capture the moment because they want to go back home and relive it, who am I to tell them that they're doing something wrong?
Doesn't bother you.
If they're doing because they're coming there just because they want to show it to their friends and put it on YouTube and be the cool kids that put it on YouTube, they're just like missing a great moment that they could keep here and in their eyes instead of on their camera. But again, I mean, I took pictures and I took videos as well at shows, so I don't worry too much. Of course, it's kind of surreal when you see too many phones, and it's just like, is everybody actually watching the show for real? It's actually everybody. Is anybody, you know, feeling what we are feeling? Is the energy and the live shows?
Some bands, some performers are actually, you know, kind of aggressive when it comes to people using their phones, you know, throwing them away.
I'm not, because I mean that's a sign of the times. You can't really fight progress. You can't really tell a 20 years old guy or girl nowadays that they shouldn't be on their phones. They were born with phones. I have a niece, actually a grandniece, that at 3 she was able to scroll the pictures and recognize pictures from videos. It's a completely different generation.
Yeah.
So I mean, I am trying to be, I'm trying to accept, you know, progress, because you can't really stop it. It's just like I'm trying to embrace it. Of course, I prefer a lot more stuff from the old school, you know, music scene where everyone was just like enjoying the show. But at the same time, you know, I can't stop progress. It's a utopistic dream.
Yeah, I guess so. I think my only concern and complaint at the same time is when you actually prohibit other people from seeing the stage, for instance.
That is true. That is not nice.
Yeah.
That is not nice, because most of them are just like this, and there's someone behind them that are trying to watch the show, and they're watching the show through another guy phone, which is not nice.
There was this trend. Luckily, it's long gone now, but roughly I'd say like 6-7 years ago, maybe something like that. People used to bring tablets to the shows.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
That was terrible.
That was terrible.
You got like a small TV set basically, and you can't.
Yeah, there was always also a lot of people like filming and putting streamings on YouTube, which I find disrespectful, because obviously it's not because they want to show the band to the old world, but it's because they want to get money on other people's shoulder, which I find very disrespectful.
All right. The very last thing for today, I'm letting you go. Since you're such a geek, I've got a quick geeky quiz, so to speak, maybe. So just a bunch of quick questions, and I'd like you to tell me which one you're for, basically. So, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
I would say. Damn it, I would say Mortal Kombat just because I like the movie as well. But Street Fighter is the one that I played first before Mortal Kombat.
Okay, but you say Mortal Kombat, so Sub-Zero or Scorpion?
Damn it. Sub-Zero.
Damn it, that's wrong. This is the wrong answer, but whatever.
But come on, I always consider them twins.
Yeah, I know,
so for me, it's like they're inseparable. But if I had to choose, I said
the next one is actually I'm interested. Uncharted or Tomb Raider?
Tomb Raider.
Why?
Forever, because I've been playing the very first episodes of Tomb Raider. I fell in love with the character. It was one of the very first, you know, strong women, ballsy, sexy but determined, fierce. And I also like the new ones that they put out. It took a while because I was very attached to the old ones. And I played the last trilogy, and it was amazing. The graphic was amazing, the quests were amazing. So Tomb Raider, without even a shadow of a doubt.
Captain America or Iron Man?
Iron Man, because I like the actor.
Okay, fair enough. This one is really cool. This one, we've got 5 minutes. What are we going to deal with? Yeah, quickly. All right, Joker or Darth Vader?
Fuck. Well, my heart is bleeding because it's hard to choose, but Darth Vader. Darth Vader. Actually, more than Darth Vader, I'm obsessed with Stormtroopers. I mean, I've always been on the dark side. I love Darth Vader. But I always had an
Judging by your
obsession
Instagram, I'm not surprised actually.
I don't know. The stormtroopers have something special that I can't explain. The old school stormtrooper, not the new ones. But dark side for sure.
Okay.
For the Empire.
Okay, cool. And the last one, Resident Evil or Silent Hill?
That's hard to say because they're both in my all-time top 3 video games.
You have to pick one.
Well, I love them both, so I would say Resident Evil just because it's more iconic. But to be honest, the vibe that I got from the first Silent Hill was creepier than Resident Evil.
Yeah, obviously the first one, the Japanese ones, not the later ones, because.
No, the very first one. The very first Silent Hill was super creepy when it was turning into not the asylum, the kindergarten. It was super creepy. Just the vibe, the sounds, the fog, that was extremely creepy. The first Resident Evil was creepy as well, at times when the liquor was coming out for the first time. I remember that I peed my pants because you don't really see the liquor coming and you see all the movements that it does, so that was kind of creepy. But if I have to choose, I would say Resident Evil.
Okay.
But it's hard.
All right.
They really are in my top 3.
I can even tell you that I actually played the very first Silent Hill this year. I mean the original one. So the graphics are they're so horrible.
The graphics.
But the mood.
The graphics are horrible. But like if you think about, for example, games like Tekken.
Yeah.
I remember the first time that I entered, like a playing game area, and I found the first one, and it blew my mind. And if I see it now, it's just like,
seriously?
Come on.
Yeah.
But it's like when you think about old records, and you're so in love with those old records, even if they're not recorded well, even if the singer's not great, the production sucks, but you're still attached to the memories of that time. So I totally get it.
Okay.
Totally get what you mean.
On that note, I think we're good to go.
Yay!
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.